We'll open the meeting, the April 26th meeting of the Library Board of Trustees with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll begin with the reviewing of the minutes of March 22nd.
Who's taking the notes of the minutes tonight?
That is, and next month, if... newbie no more.
The honeymoon is over.
That's right. Okay, and I'll take a motion whenever you're ready.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the minutes as written.
Okay, second?
Five of them?
Yes, you can. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so moved.
Oh, aye.
Director's report?
Okay. Well, we had a wonderful presentation by Kevin Gardner on building stone walls.
Yes.
It was packed. We had 45 at least. I think we had a couple more come in after I took a head count. And everyone loved him, and I hope to have him back in the fall after he puts out his next book. So he was a great speaker, and he did indeed build his little stone wall while he was talking, and you can tell he's done this thing before. He just did a fantastic job. Real happy with him. Fascinating.
I did manage to access that.
Oh, good.
And everything you've said is entirely correct. I mentioned to Debbie earlier, I was trying to gauge the number of people, and obviously the camera's focused on him and the wall that he's building as he speaks.
Right,
It's
yeah, I
pretty
did see
interesting.
some myself.
I don't think I could have done that. But
Right.
it did appear there were people on the side, and that's about
Yeah.
as much as I could get from the size
Yep.
of the crowd.
Yep, a good showing. And we've had a busy April, as you can see from these numbers. Some of these I don't have the final numbers yet. That's why there's some blanks, because they're still going on, and I put a final tally in there when we're all finished. So we've still got a few things left to finish up this week. And then upcoming, in the month of May, I am going to be putting up an exhibit that will be with paintings from Walter Bresniak. He's a local artist, and he approached me. We've had him before. He does a great job. He does a lot of historical figures, a lot of political figures. So he has a lot of new work, and I encourage people to stop on by the library and check it out in the Fells Room in the month of May. We have story times going on in the children's room, spring story times. They were full last time I checked, but Kathy does keep a waiting list. So if anyone is interested, it never hurts to stop on by the children's desk just to get on the waiting list or to check if someone's dropped out. We have some ongoing things. One of them is the Pokemon Thursday Club, the Thursday Pokemon Club from 3:30 to 5. And that is open to ages 7 to 14, and no registration for that. It's run by one of our volunteers, and Harrison Records is the person who runs that. We're very much in his debt to be running that, and it's grown. There's probably 10 kids doing it, and they have a blast, and that's in the kids' room. On Monday, May 2nd, which is next Monday already, 6:30, kids may bring their favorite stuffed animal to the library for a teddy bear sleepover. It doesn't have to be a teddy bear. And a bedtime story and snack. Story and snack. And with Miss Kathy. And they can wear their pajamas. There's no registration. And all kids, let's see, was there an age limit on that? I don't think so, but probably under the age of 12, I would imagine. Let's see, what else we got here?
That's how that works. Who sleeps over?
The teddy bears, not the kids.
That could be traumatic for the children.
That's what I
In
was
fact,
gonna
that is their favorite sleeping.
We've had this before. It's wildly successful,
sure.
and we take pictures of
Teasing.
the animals.
Right.
Yeah,
But they leave
but they're safe, and they have a snack. We keep them safe. Hopefully,
It could be
Never
theory.
mind. I mean, if you have a vivid imagination, you can probably write a little story about this somehow.
Yeah, right.
Not my forte.
What happens when the
The
library
library
closes, yeah.
stuffed animals come to life.
Night at the library. Yeah.
Oh, right.
And
We
pearls.
get what's his name to do a movie.
Sure.
Tim Burton. So on Monday, May 23rd, we also have a kids craft club happening. It's open to ages 5 to 12. That we do require registration just for materials. That is sponsored by Friends of the Library. And of course, we have our reading clubs, the 15-minute Readers Club and the 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten. Those are also sponsored by the Friends, and people can stop by the children's desk to find out a little bit more about those. In the teen area, we have our monthly teen book club, Pizza and Pages. It was canceled in April due to the snow that happened the first Monday in April. So we hope that we didn't lose any momentum. We do ask that people register, but if you're not registered, please don't let that stop you from coming by. You don't have to read the same book. Just bring a book, bring an idea, or just come and listen. And teens in grades 6 through 12 are welcome. And of course, there's pizza. And that is in the teen room. That's sponsored by Friends of the Library. And that's Monday, May 9th from 6 to 7. So a week from this Monday. And Wednesdays, we have something that we started up last month, I believe, the Teen Homework Club. That's Wednesdays 3:30 to 4:30. If you're a teen looking to do your homework in a quiet, friendly place with your peers, we welcome you to come to the library and join us in the teen room. There is a facilitator, and there is no registration for this program. So we're just getting that up and off the ground at this point. On Monday, May 16th, we will have a special teen author, Kalina Bonafiglio. She will be at the library to talk about her latest book, The Rise of the Octangle. She will be on hand to sign and sell her books as well. Grades 4 through 12 are welcome depending on the reading level of the child. That's Monday, May 16th at 6 o'clock. And I think that is going to be, I'm not sure if that's going to be in the teen room, but just come on by the library. I don't believe there's any registration required for this. And it'll either be in the Fells room or the teen room. In the adult area, this Thursday, April 28th, from 6 to 8, we are going to host Greg Mychak, a local artist, and he is going to teach people how to paint stunning still life pastels. That is a full workshop at this point in time. He comes equipped with all materials, and as I said, it's full at this point. I think we'll be making confirmation calls tomorrow. So there is a waiting list. I believe there's still spots on that, and usually spots open up. Mm-hmm. So I do encourage people to call if they haven't done so already and they're interested. That is sponsored by the Dudley Cultural Council. We have our genealogy group meeting the same night, Thursday, April 28th, 6 to 7:30, and for that we welcome local genealogist Seema Kenny. She will be presenting on using Microsoft Excel for keeping track of genealogical research data. That's a spreadsheet program, and it's very useful for keeping track of things. Registration is, I wouldn't say required, but it's encouraged, just so that we know how many handouts to make. That's always nice to know. And it will be in the local history room. And that is sponsored by Friends of the Library. We have our ongoing meetings, which are the Monday movie matinee, every Monday at 1 o'clock, except the Mondays that the library is closed for holiday. Coming up, this coming Monday the 2nd, we will be showing Quartet. On the 9th, Mamma Mia. On the 16th, French Kiss. And on the 23rd, we'll be showing Chicago. And obviously, on the 30th, there will be no movie. The library will be closed in observance of Memorial Day. On Mondays from 6 to 7:30, we have our very successful Literacy Cafe, which is facilitated by literacy volunteers of South Central Massachusetts. And that's for those people who need assistance brushing up on their English language skills. There's no registration. It's a very informal and casual group, and it teaches conversational English. Every Friday from 10 to 12, we have Knitting at the Pearl. It is right now in the local history room. There's no registration. If you have a project you're working on, or if you need help with something, or you even want to learn to knit, this group is wonderful. They're fun, and they welcome everyone. On Thursday, May 5th, that's a week from this Thursday, is the book discussion. That's a monthly book discussion. We meet from 6 to 7 o'clock on the first Thursday of the month. And this coming, on the 5th, we'll be discussing the book A Star for Mrs. Blake by April Smith. It's a historical novel about the women who had children, I guess, or loved ones who went into World War I believe. And the government sent the mothers or the loved ones, the wives, mothers, whatever, paid for them to go overseas to visit the graves of their loved ones. I don't know a lot about it. I haven't read it yet, so I better get my button gear. And no registration for this book discussion. We do provide books. They are behind the circulation desk. I know there's some still available. Refreshments are provided. Wednesdays through May 18th, from 10:30 to 11:30, we have our wonderful Joanne LaLiberty, who runs the chair yoga class. There's no registration. This is sponsored by Friends of the Library, and we just encourage people to wear comfortable clothing and definitely sneakers or some kind of shoe with, a rubber sole. It's very gentle yoga. It's great for people with arthritis or movement problems, joint problems. It's seated but not by no means simple, so you won't be bored. She does a great job, and I'd like to bottle her voice. Last but not least, ta-da, we have the Friends of the Library book sale. It is going to run Thursday, May 12th, 10 to 8, Friday, May 13th, 10 to 5, Friday the 13th. I didn't even think about that. Saturday, May 14th from 10 to 12, and the member-only preview will be on Wednesday, May 11th from 5 to 7. And people can come that night and join the Friends if they want to attend the member preview, I want to say.
How much does it cost to join the Friends?
There are various levels. It starts, I think, at $10. Family is $15. It's inexpensive.
Very inexpensive, and what a great deal. And you get a sneak peek at the book sale.
Yes.
And
You can buy, too.
Yeah, we have loads of books.
Yes, you do.
So they have started their accumulation outside of my office. Pretty
And
soon I won't be seeing
I'm
them.
not mistaken, not just books too, so
There's DVDs. There's some DVDs and other media,
Sometimes
primarily books.
Posters, there's a variety.
Sometimes you never know what's going to
Right.
show up.
Exactly.
You really don't.
Are you still accepting?
There's no small animals or children. So
Are you still accepting?
we are. We are accepting donations. We continuously accept donations in gently used condition. So no mold or dirt or dust dust, we can blow those off. No mold or mildew, no damage. And, if they've been in a musty environment and they smell musty, we probably would not take those as well because they won't sell. But we do have an ongoing book sale that we use those donations for as well. We always have a special monthly book sale. So over in the Friends Corner.
Friends Corner.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Which is-
always
Not
interested.
included the book either.
Yeah.
Things that they tend not to take are sets of encyclopedias. Those can be difficult
Textbooks,
to sell.
I think.
Yeah.
Textbooks we don't take, exactly. Usually like ring binders. So, but if there's any questions, they can always call me. And any large donations that are more than a couple of boxes, we do ask that people contact me, the director, prior to bringing them all in, just so that we can check them out. Okay? And the reason for that is sometimes we get them in and we end up tossing some that are in poor condition, or condition that we don't think they will sell. And since I have to pay to have my trash hauled away, I prefer not to be the one throwing it in there. But those are few and far between. Phew. Okay. The library will be closed on... Any questions about the programs before I get going?
The Youth Advisory Council meeting, we discuss activities and programs you want. And what kinds of programs are this Youth Advisory Group? What things are they looking for?
I don't run that, so I'm going to get back to you on that.
Okay.
Okay? But usually games, I do know off the top of my head from just the chap that was running an informal team group prior to the Youth Advisory Council being formed, that they were into like card games like Magic the Gathering, the Wii system, the Wii gaming system, things like that is what I'm understanding. But Kathy has taken it in another direction, so.
That was the Pokemon came out of?
No, the Pokemon is for a younger crowd.
Oh, okay.
That's one of those crossover. There are teens that participate. We do have a couple of younger teens in there.
Tweens, is that?
Tweens, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So. But you know what, Richard? That's a good thing for next time. Thanks. Okay, so we will be closed on Monday, May 30th in observance of Memorial Day. We will be having a staff meeting tomorrow, our monthly staff meeting, and Chief Weiner is our special guest. He's going to be stopping in to chat with the staff about handling, sometimes touchy and difficult situations. So.
It's probably a good thing.
We're happy to have him. Yeah, it's always a good thing to get a sanity check on what to do.
Right.
And our newest hire, Tasha, will be receiving her 6-month evaluation in mid-May already, so no longer probationary. She's been working out great, fits right in. I do know that I have this, and I've been putting it on. I just haven't had a chance to put the finishing touches on the youth services librarian description. I'm going to kick that one down the road into May.
Okay. I'll add that to the agenda. For next
Sure.
month.
I just don't want to rush that.
Sure.
I want to put, make sure I've been thoughtful about it.
But that is a budgetary constraint. though,
It's
right?
also,
Yeah.
exactly. Thank you.
Well,
The FY17 budget, I know it's on the list here, along with the FY16 update, but I'll just cover it right now because I don't have a whole lot to say about it. We're still finalizing, still reviewing. Stay tuned for further developments. We should have something more definite for the next meeting. Okay. So still waiting on finalization from the school to figure out where we all stand. Okay. Facilities. I'm sorry that this is such a long category this month, but when it rains, it pours. The security cameras, I've had an issue with. We've suspected something was up with the hard drives. There's essentially 4 hard drives, which all of the cameras load data onto, and they've been filling, and therefore they will, not function as well as they could. And so we are going to implement a redundancy via what's called a RAID configuration. And it will just kind of ensure continuity of data. And that's about all I want to say on that. The cost is approximately $600, and we'll be using state aid. Leo, for those of you who don't know who Leo is from our vendor Eyewitness Systems, who did the installation, and also we have a contract with them. Okay, so they're functioning right now. This will just give us confidence that they will continue to function at their highest capacity. The HVAC, we discovered a couple of things. They came in at my behest because it was freezing cold in there one day, and we discovered that one of the circulator pumps had gone kaput, and so I think there's only one circulator pump, and then we have a backup, and the backup we had refurbished. This was 3 years ago. I remember it was one of the first things I dealt with when I came on board, because it was kind of in a holding pattern. And I'm so glad that we had that refurbished, because guess what? Apparently these things don't last forever. So, but the good
3
news
years,
is,
huh?
yeah, right, about 3 years. The good news is that they can be rebuilt, and so it's worthwhile to do that, because they are many thousands of dollars to buy new. So,
How long does the rebuild take?
Yeah.
not very long.
Less than 3 years.
Oh, yes, exactly.
It does, yeah.
But the problem is
They did take it. The damaged pump is gone. They've rectified that. They've done the replacement. While they were in doing that, though, they discovered a leak in the flue pipe gaskets, and that runs from the boiler basically out and up through the ceiling. And unfortunately, when they came, they were trying to troubleshoot it. Well, you could very visibly see it pouring down through the gasket, but where it was leaking, you can't get into that section of the ceiling. It's the part of the back roof that's like this, and there's just no space in there to fix something like that. I guess it was just a design.
Did the leak result in any damage? Anything?
No, the leak was in the HVAC room.
Okay,
So
it was
isolated.
confined.
I mean, there was water on the floor, but there was no damage to any equipment back there,
For the time being, there is no
except for the
backup.
pipe.
Yeah.
But for the time being, there is no backup pump.
Yeah, shoot the pipe.
And this has nothing to do with the pump.
Oh,
This
right.
is a separate
This is a
issue.
separate issue.
Yes.
Okay, that was
Okay.
discovered as a result of the pump.
Precisely.
Because it took place
Yes,
in the same.
they went, said, "Hey, did you know you have a pond in here?" So anyway, so what we ended up doing, they proposed the following, that it needed to be replaced, that section of piping, but since they couldn't access the top part, what Renault said happens very commonly. In fact, we have one that exits the back of the building already, right next to it. So this one just runs alongside and exits the back of it terminates to the back wall of the building. You wouldn't even notice it unless I told you, and it's been fixed. So, that's.
Richard raised a good question about, are we at a risk because there's no backup in the building now? Is running it on the replacement pump? I mean, does that run year round, that circulator, both heat and air conditioning as well? Okay. So,
I think the other one will be back any day.
Okay.
Okay.
No, that's
Yeah,
Okay,
I would say within the next week
Okay.
or so. They're pretty expeditious about it. I have a call into Renault to find out the status of it, though. Just 1 moment, I'll make a note. Let's see. Third on the list, I have, now that the front sign is installed and working, and all I have left to do with that is play with the software a little bit, I've turned my attention to the next most important thing, I think, on the list of enhancements, improvements for the library, and that is the speaker and acoustics issues in the Fells room. The speakers were never really wired for optimal sound. And it became obvious after we started to try to show movies and have presentations and so on and so forth using them. Basically, they point down in the drop ceiling. There's up to more speakers that are in the corners that point out, but they're very small and they're not sufficient for, presentations or showing movies. So when I want to say like a year ago, I did have some sound people. The people that installed our short throw overhead projector came in and they proposed a solution for rewiring the speakers in that room. And it was like $12,000. So I promptly just dropped that in the, I'll get back to you file and left it for, and I bought this little sound bar at, Best Buy or something for $100. Well, that's, even that's not, that was only kind of a stopgap measure. So what I did was I got in touch with a chap from Nichols College who is very good at this kind of, he's the AV person at Nichols College, am I correct? Yes. He pointed me in the direction of the company they use, a company called AdTech. AdTech came out at no charge to us and kind of troubleshot the issue, and they recommended that we go with a portable, for lack of a better description, PA system.
Yeah.
And when I say system, it's just literally like a woofer. Is that what it is? And it has a large bar on it. It's by Bose, and it's a line array. So the long piece, you can make it really short. You can add a section to make it really tall, and it's 180-degree sound. And they came in, they brought it in. The Bose rep came in and demonstrated it for us, and it's great. And it's $900. I think it's $899, which I find much more palatable than $12,000.
Yeah.
Because even at that, we weren't quite sure that it would address the real issues. And I thought that seems like it's just a bad idea. So the beauty of this system is you can take it and plug it in anywhere in the building. He demonstrated it using the movies. It's wonderful sound. You can hear people's voices. That was one of the issues with the movies.
Issue,
yes. I started to show movies in the evening because we have a movie license, and I was losing people because you couldn't hear the voices. And it's some of it has to do with the speakers, and a lot of it has to do with the big vaulted ceiling. So this kind of addresses all of those issues, and I think it's a great solution. And although I think I have permission to go ahead and purchase it, I still would love the blessing of the Board of Trustees to use gift funds to purchase this.
So this would mean the existing speaker system is moot.
It is. We could still, if a band were to come in and they wanted to use that with the mics and everything, they could do that. You can also plug microphones into this system, so they could use one or the other. It doesn't matter. They could use both if they wanted to.
We pretty much had issues with the speakers right
Okay.
along. Yeah.
Understand. So, motion in order then?
Yes.
All right, I would like to move then that we go ahead with the purchase of this Bose L1 speaker system as described.
May I have a second?
1 second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so moved.
Thank you. If I order this tomorrow, I should have it in a couple weeks.
Back to movie night.
I know, I can't wait. I was thinking specifically of the harpist that comes in too,
Sure.
and just
That will be for anniversary.
she's coming in for summer solstice.
Some solstice, okay.
Yeah.
That's what I following year. Well, it's right, probably gonna
She
be
was
right around
in
the same time.
last year, I think, for the, is it last year? Yeah.
It may have been, or the year before.
Oh my gosh, I've lost track of time. It was the year before.
Yeah.
What was that? I'm sorry.
The harpist,
The
Anya
harpist,
Minouge.
Yeah.
Oh.
She's got a number of CDs.
Yes.
She's-
Yeah. So thank you very much, and I will go ahead and put that into motion. I will be addressing the acoustics issue, but at a later date. Okay, that's a separate thing. We'll probably look at that in the next, maybe in the next fiscal year. So, and I'm also going to address the DVD shelving at a later date, May or June. So.
Mhm.
That's it on the funding.
Okay.
And then I popped in there our foot traffic. And I think we're going to just kick butt over last year because we're going to be, I think we're going to be over 5,000 more this year than we were last year if things keep going the way they're going.
On the foot traffic, do people mention the sign? Is that what got them in there, or does it stand out as something that's, a magnet that's pulling them in the door?
I'll tell you, some of the things, I think it's probably the sign. I think the sign is doing more for our programming because we're getting a lot of comments that, hey, I saw it on the sign,
Okay.
But I'll bet you we are getting more people because of it. Another thing was the Easter egg hunt. We saw a lot of families that we hadn't seen, and I think that was
Get 'em
great.
young.
Mm-hmm.
Get 'em young,
Well,
exactly.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And last night at the Board of Selectmen's meeting, Paul Joseph said that
He was at the Easter egg hunt?
no, but regarding the new sign, that he always wondered why the parking lot was full, and now that we have the sign that rotates, now he knows why the parking lot is full because of everything that's going on at the library. If that was a nice comment to make.
Yeah, we've been cranking right along with the programs, and of course this foot traffic that I have here is our people counter, which is on the inside
Right.
of the two double doors, so it doesn't capture people coming in and just using the Fells
We
room.
discussed that last month, I think.
We did,
Yeah.
but I just put that in there as a little footnote.
Yeah. But
So-
No pun
typically there
intended.
is a count of people who attend, isn't that right? Yeah, you count the number of people who attend.
We do.
each, Yeah. So.
Those numbers are counted, elsewhere.
Yeah.
So, but it's just bears mentioning
Right.
that it doesn't include program attendance in the Fells
Exactly,
room.
which would make
Oh,
it
yeah.
significantly.
Mhm.
Sure. So, but I think this is great, and our book circulation is actually doing well as well. And I sat with. We've got an informal group of area directors. It's not formal through the Mass Library System or anything, but myself and a couple of the Charlton director, the Sturbridge director, and the Southbridge director get together on a pretty regular basis to have lunch and talk about things, share ideas, and ask for advice on different things. And last month, Cheryl Hansen from Charlton decided to open it up to, Sutton and some other areas in our little pocket, because we don't seem to there's nothing really organized in our area. We're just kind of more rural, and we're all in very similar situations with small libraries, small staff, so on and so forth. So it's a great group to bounce ideas off of. And where was I going with this? Oh, book circulation. Everyone was saying that theirs was down, and I said, "Oh, that's funny. Ours is up."
Now,
So,
excuse me, there was an email that I got from a Matthew S. Perry. I don't know if folks
From
had
the Mass
a
Board
chance to
Library
look at that. I
Commissioners,
think
yeah.
it was referenced it looks like a Boston Globe
Yes,
article.
Oh,
it
yeah.
was. Yes.
And it had a number in there, and I think the number for Dudley was 5.9. I took that as something indicating circulation, but I wasn't clear as how it was defined. And it had each of the towns, and there was an attempt to separate them by color. the darker color were the more active, and some of the numbers were crazy, like 30.3 or something of that sort.
I haven't looked at that
I
yet.
found the
Charlton was
interesting-
7.
yeah.
Oxford was 9.1.
9.1 what?
I think it somehow is an index indicating the usage of the library, the circulation of the library. I believe Dudley was 5.4. Southbridge was considerably less. I'm just looking at some neighboring towns, and Oxford surprised me somewhat. I think Charlton was 7.8.
Unless I know what those numbers are.
I
I can't speak
admittedly,
intelligently
How
about it.
did you get that,
But I-
Richard?
It's on this email that he sent out, and
I'm
let's
just
see.
wondering when it came
Is
up.
Your Local Library a bestseller? Circulation rates tell an interesting tale. And it was, I believe, an article that appeared in the Boston Globe, and it
Yeah.
does look
Yeah.
at library usage, circulation, and I assume it's books and anything else that circulates throughout the state. And some of the numbers were out of this crazy numbers, really high. And there's such a diversity. The numbers are.
Right. Another interesting thing about that article is they said the most successful libraries were the libraries that were funded well.
Right.
And that had to do with the fact that they could provide more to the patrons, so the patrons
Sure.
tended to use the library.
Well, yeah, it seems to make a certain amount of sense.
I was just picking up on your thought that, we've included,
Yes,
you've included in your group local libraries.
Yeah.
And there was quite a difference between the local libraries. Webster was on the low end.
I didn't see that particular chart. I'm going to have
Okay.
to go back in again.
Yeah, it was a map of the state.
Yeah,
And then
okay.
each of the towns, and
Well,
you
that
just
might change though.
click on each of the towns and it'll show you that number. And just in the local area, again, there was quite a variety as far as
I'll have to take,
what that number
take
seemed
a
to
look at that.
indicate.
I did get the note, so
But I think the good thing
if
is...
you'd like, I can forward it to you, Jerry.
Oh, I could send it to you. What I was taking from
It should
your
be on the
comment
list.
was that,
Yeah.
that cross-pollination or that,
Check your spam.
exchange of ideas,
Check your
where
spam.
Oxford may be
Yeah.
9.1. How did Oxford get to be 9.1 and Webster, I think, is 4 something or 5? Now, almost double. Obviously, there are issues in Webster, but there are things that, I'm sure that there'll be opportunity to share ideas and see if there's, things that can be done or might be done. Not to say that this plate that you have now isn't already full.
Well,
I don't know how you get all that
that's
in
the
there.
whole thing. I mean, you have a bigger staff, you have more programs that
Right.
can be offered.
Well, hours, I
that
think,
makes a
yeah.
difference. Definitely.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, we
It is
are
a numbers
already...
game. It is all about the numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll have to have a look at it, find out what the numbers mean and find out where they came
Right.
from, because of course, you can throw anything out there, but where did you get your numbers from?
Yeah, that, I'd
So,
be curious about
really
that.
sorry.
Again, obviously, I'm taking this at face value. I have no idea. I don't think the article, or what I read of it anyway, indicated, the source or even the accuracy of the source. It was just, I guess, some kind of a way of comparing at maybe a very superficial level, but somehow.
Yep, we look at those statistics all the time, because that's how, when we get together and we talk, we're like, well, our ebook circulation, our book circulation, our program attendance, and that's all compiled in the state report as well. And then after it's all compiled, if I need to pull numbers to look at things, salaries, staffing, hours open, are they open on Saturdays, all of it is right there, and I can just grab whatever criteria I want and add it to a report, and then it'll spit right out. It's pretty sophisticated, and I love it. So we're fortunate to have such a well-organized library commission. Other neighboring states are not so fortunate. So, in fact, Connecticut is their whole delivery system is in jeopardy. Unfortunately, they don't have as much organization at the state house as we do. So,
Shall we move on to the, thank you for your report, so we're very good, Karen, as always. Moving on to the financial.
yep, FY16.
Mm-hmm.
That's on your attached to everything.
Right.
And this is current as of the end of last week.
Mm-hmm.
So we're a little below where I'd like to be, but better than we were last year.
Mhm.
So we'll definitely be tapping into that state aid. And
Right.
I just hope and pray that we don't have to tap into it too much. So, and you can see that we did get our second disbursement.
Oh, that was,
In state
Karen, I
aid.
believe it was an email that you sent that had a link to the state legislature and how I believe the various representatives and senators may have voted or where they stood. That I was completely unsuccessful with. I even threatened, I think, to ask you for a tutorial on that, which I
Oh.
didn't show up for yet.
Oh, that's pretty easy. I'd be happy to help you
I-
with that.
There was an abbreviation, LIBR, I believe, LIBRA or R. There was something, I believe, that we clicked on, and all I kept getting was this very general reference to libraries. That was
Yeah.
Was that in reference to the legislative
right.
activity?
It worked.
Budget.
Oh.
Yeah,
That
mine
process.
worked,
If I can
yeah.
use it, anybody can use it, but.
Well, I yield to your
Yeah. No,
expertise.
I'd be
Which
happy to
is
help if you have an
minimal.
issue, definitely. Maybe just resending a link or something.
Yeah.
It could be as simple
Okay.
as that, yeah.
Well, I may
I'm not
harass
sure
you
which
with-
one I sent,
It
because
was
I
the
do
second
forward
time
it.
around, yeah, that, it was just this, I think last week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I sent you an
Anyway,
email threatening to
Based
come in
on
and
the
ask
most
for
recent
help.
email,
but-
it didn't work because they didn't recommend any funding for the libraries.
Oh,
in
did
the-
you
in the
happen to
House.
see where our representatives lined up on that?
Yeah, they didn't.
They didn't recommend
Yeah,
anything?
Yeah. They didn't.
Disappointing.
None of them did, actually. They didn't, the House did not recommend funding for the library.
I don't know what is going on,
Yeah,
but
which is unfortunate, and that's state, that's for the state, so.
right.
I suspect there's gonna be follow-up to that, but, you know, as it
They-
is.
They did fund state aid to public libraries, though.
That part, not, yeah, it's just on the four points, the amendments that they
Right,
were.
exactly.
yeah.
And there was an email that came out late this afternoon, so
Right,
if you,
yeah.
if
Yeah,
you're
I
on
did
that
see.
list,
Yeah,
then check it. I think there was an update on that.
good.
This is one of those things that I might not catch all the updates, you know what I mean? They come through on a daily basis, so I try to stay on top of it, because it does impact us. It all trickles down.
Right,
Um, It impacts our state aid that we receive,
Right.
this number right here. It impacts the assessment from CW Mars,
right.
because they get funding from the
Mhm.
state, so they of course, if they get less, they pass it on to us.
Yeah.
So
Right, resource sharing,
resource sharing,
Mhm.
delivery system, all of that stuff
right.
is primarily funded through,
State ones?
yes.
Mhm.
So, and we have a really good system, so I'm hoping that they continue with it.
Mhm. Actually, just another thing, through that site, you can actually find out how your representatives did,
Mhm.
where they voted or
I
didn't.
thought Durant did sign
Didn't say that he did. And what
Well, I know that the Worcester Telegram
Okay.
on Sunday will give you
Yeah,
a
right.
collection of
Oh, that's right, yes, it does.
legislative
It does, yeah.
decision-making.
it. Anyway, does anyone have any questions on the current year? Doesn't
Can you
show
just help me
stuff.
understand? I'm looking at, like, the lost books. It says expenditure slash deposit.
I know, I should just take that out of there, Jerry,
Well, it's got a
because you
negative-
ask me every,
Oh,
every month.
Well, it's got a negative number, but the balance went up. so-
I know, it's confusing.
Yeah. and
Just
it's like
never
it's
mind
something
that,
down
never
the
mind
road.
that. It's just the way that it pulls it in from
Okay.
another
As long as-
another section of the
The balance seems to be
spreadsheet.
going in the right direction.
Yeah, right.
I didn't understand what the
That's
minus
a-
sign was. So
That's a revolving account,
Okay.
and it's lost and damaged, and
Well,
essentially,
and miscellaneous, the gift miscellaneous also. The
Yeah,
balance
that's
goes-
another
the
one.
balance went up.
I'm going to take that whole column out of there,
Well, okay.
because it's confusing.
Well,
Really, I don't even, I think I'm just going to leave the remaining balance in there, the balance, because it is confusing. It's confusing to everyone but me, so.
well, no, I mean, I don't, it's good to see the change, but it's just, with a negative number.
With a negative, yeah.
We have negative lost books.
I guess.
I know. It's the way I put it in
Okay.
order to reflect a positive
Okay.
ending balance.
and it just comes out that way.
Well, that I can understand. Don't take it out on my account. Sure.
No, it's okay. I meant to do it and I keep forgetting because I keep looking at it and go, yeah, anybody but me, they wouldn't understand that. So, anyway, but I reconcile. What's that?
I get it.
Debbie gets it.
Some of my reports come out with
I know.
Be an accountant.
Yeah,
You can. I think I can hide those cells,
It's a
can't
of
I?
course.
I don't have to take it out. I'll just hide it.
Yes, okay.
It's nothing untoward going on there. But I do reconcile these numbers with the town accountant every month, and these do match. So.
That's the important thing.
Right. We have an item of old business, and that's videotaping library programs. Deb, you wanted that
Oh, yeah.
added?
I just wanted to mention it because when we did the stone walls,
Yeah.
the head of the person who does the cable, the videotaping person in charge,
Mhm.
I'm sorry,
wasn't very open to
Cable
the idea,
access.
and they did it anyway. So in the future, I'm not sure that we're going to be allowed to do it. So I just
Okay.
wanted to let you know that it may not happen again. I'm not really sure,
Mhm.
and I don't know that it's his call alone. So.
I think it was addressed.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I got a note.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I clarified. I got
I
the.
checked with him this morning.
You did? Well, it wasn't this morning.
Who was the person that did the taping? Was it somebody
I don't
with
know.
charter?
Video. Oh, Fred. Did Fred do it? One of the video.
Who's the one who
Photographers.
was there last night
Right.
taping?
I think Fred did it.
He did it. Yes, and the last I knew, it was all set because I explained, the situation. I think there was a misunderstanding, but I don't know that it would be that big of a deal not to have it videotaped.
Mhm.
We have never historically videotaped, and yes, I know that there was a question about it, but I thought it had been resolved. But then I had the Easy Walks in Massachusetts, and I thought they were going to come and tape that, and they didn't. So I think it might
I
be.
would very much like to see that happen, and even if possible on a regular basis. I was sharing with you earlier, looking at the public access television, at least on my charter network anyway. I mean, it's the town manager's name and his phone number, and his assistant and her phone number. If you have a question for the police chief, there isn't a lot of excitement about it. I mean, it'd be great for insomniacs, but it's not going to get a lot of ratings, I don't think, in terms of anybody's, whatever rating system they're using today. And it would seem that there are any number of programs on a weekly basis occurring at the library. The Easter egg hunt. You might have gotten, the aunt couldn't make it, but geez, she could watch it on public access TV.
Are we being charged for every time they come in? would
I
think
don't
so.
know.
On
You know
charter,
what?
wasn't that part of the agreement with the town? The charter for the exclusivity that they have?
Well,
Was
before
gonna
we get
do
off on
certain
a
things?
before we get off on a tangent,
Right.
why don't I gather
I
my
like
facts?
tangents, excuse me.
No.
Well, I mean, personal experience, I'm in the Southbridge Library lot because they do taxes there, and every Thursday night they have a program, and they were videotaping them. So I was pointedly asked Margaret, I said, do you record these frequently just because it came up? We started doing it. And she says, as many as we can. I mean,
Yeah.
so it sounds like it's not unusual for libraries to do this. I'm just, I know, what she does doesn't mean we have to or want to, but that just...
Why don't I find out the facts on the whole thing?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I
And-
still missed the issue. I'm sorry.
I tell you, personally, my thought would be it would add a new dimension in terms of excitement
Yeah.
to public access
Well,
TV.
I agree.
And it's
that
sorely
we should do
needed.
more.
You don't
We
want-
don't
you don't
have
like
to
the
do
focus on
hundreds,
the-
but you
Yeah.
should do
No, it
more.
doesn't even give you focus, it's just
And I
flash a
don't know why
sign.
he's
Yeah,
against
certain
it.
programs would lend themselves better to
Oh, sure.
videotaping. The Stonewall for sure. That was fantastic. I
But
was
chair
glad.
yoga, somebody might not be sure, do
I don't
wanna
think
do this?
Marjorie's presentation would have videotaped well
Okay.
because she was doing the overhead, and I just don't think that would have.
Yeah.
I don't think it would have come
Well,
out very well.
Not everything gets an Emmy, so.
But I'm not sure that the people who participate in sharing
Yeah, I
yoga
don't-
would
no, I
want.
don't-
Well, that's true too. I mean, there would be a certain
That's
a number
not
that would,
presentation, that's
winnow themselves
participation.
out. But they're probably, and the stone wall thing, as you mentioned with the attendance, I suspect there were a number of folks who might have liked to have gone, or just local buzz might have heard about it and regretted not being able to be there.
I think another option is to, because some people have difficulty accessing the video. And I know when I view it on a Mac, because I have to use Flip Mac because it's not friendly
Right.
with Macs.
Oh,
It's about yay big,
oh,
and that's as big as it gets.
wow,
So.
What's wrong with that, Pat?
wow.
Well, and what was mentioned earlier, I think Deb mentioned she has a dish.
It's a
So you don't
small.
have whatever charter access there might be available to you, so.
No, I'd have to watch it.
But I think an
on the
option would
website.
be maybe an afternoon to show it at the library again. If you
There you
can
go.
access the videotape to, just presentation again. Or people might have missed it the first time and, want to catch it
Okay.
again. Or just, maybe at some point find out any interest in seeing it again. But-
Oh, it just seems that if the public access is truly public access, and that would get into anyone who had a disability or,
Mhm.
that wasn't able to make it. I would say, I kind of envision these as being
I would-
run on a somewhat regular
It would really
basis.
be nice if the people in charge of the public access, or
Whoever they
whoever's
are.
involved in, would make a step forward to become more involved in the community. And I don't necessarily
cable-
believe it should be
cable- do we have
one more
cable
thing
TV
put on
commission?
Karen's plate at this point, but
I did
Well, I
call
haven't
the
been out
charter
either, but-
Yeah.
today. I started with some gentleman by the name of Fernando and got
Oh,
down
yeah, I
to
knew.
Dave Berard.
Moved out of town.
Left a message for it,
Mhm.
and I haven't heard back yet.
Yeah.
But he was the person I was referred to for,
Mhm.
I think, this particular area. and it
It
was
seemed
a
to me
local
years
phone.
ago, they even used to show some of the programs that were the Cultural Council at Nichols,
Mhm.
the cultural program there.
Right, there was a regular
Yeah,
reoccurring program.
exactly.
Some stuff.
Mhm.
I think the best thing for me to do is just to call the chap up and,
Mhm.
Who is the chap by name?
his name is Ted and I don't know his last name.
And that, he's affiliated with Charter, or is he?
I don't know any.
No, he works for the town.
Works for the
He's
town?
in charge
Is he one
of
of
the
the
cable
videographers?
TV area and the videographers. He's
Oh.
in charge of them.
Okay, so he's a town employee.
Yeah.
I guess I don't understand
Yes.
the relationship between Charter and their
That's the
public
provider.
access
I'll
and
find out
the town.
everything.
That's the
I
provider.
will get all
He
of
would
the
know all
information.
that.
Because if it works out that it's a town employee, I suspect there's going to be a cost associated. And I thought that Charter, again, given their exclusive franchise in the area, had certain things that they were supposed to do as
No,
public
I have
service.
no idea.
Well, this shows up on the cable access.
Right,
I mean,
yeah.
We have a
doing it the-
But these
Huge
are
I don't know.
public,
I don't have
these are
Charter, so
meetings
I
that are
don't know.
publicly sanctioned and part of a
Well, it's
governing
only cable
body.
in
really.
town. If you don't have cable, I mean, you have
I
cable,
don't
you
have
have to have
cable.
charter. Okay,
No,
right.
I have internet through
Okay.
Charter
Oh,
because
okay.
they're the only
And
internet.
patrons that watch this meeting.
Mhm. That's right.
Okay.
Okay, I would bring
All
it
right.
up.
Okay,
Well-
well, thank you. Thank you for doing that.
Yes, I will find out as much as I possibly can find out, and I will report back next meeting. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Like a
And
plan?
if I hear anything from this person, I'll see if I can't bring that with me next time as well. Or
Okay.
we could perhaps converse somewhere in between.
The only thing left was, and I bet I didn't bring it with me. Pat has put on here report on gift fund, and I think that
actually,
just
should
was.
have been
You
in
mentioned
endowment
those in
fund,
your-
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew that.
Mhm.
And I think Pat was meaning to just have me explain about the endowment, just because, and I'm not sure if we've done this already, but the use of the funds
Mhm.
for enhancements and enrichments, and some of the things that we've used it for. I thought I had printed it out, but I think I left it with my FY17 information. It was just some of the things, but obviously the sign was one of the major things that we used the funds for. If and when we go, use it, pursue the DVD, additional DVD shelving. I used it for shelf lighting. We have a periodical section. You know where the periodicals
Mhm,
are. It was very dark down there, and the other end of the library had downlighting where the new books are. So we contacted the company, and they
came and they measured and they did downlighting, and that has made all of the difference down in that end of the building, because it's typically very dark down there. So those are some of the things that we've used that for. We also used it for the 5-year anniversary celebration for the community.
The computers in the children's room?
The educational computers, there's 2 early literacy computer stations that are not internet, but they are loaded with over 65 educational programs for the kids. Those were purchased using gift funds. The table that they sit on, things like that, that we don't have a line item for. In addition, I will use those gift funds on occasion for programs, cultural programs, things of that nature. So I did a preservation workshop that was done. I brought the Northeast Document Conservation Center in to do a preservation workshop, which was very well attended. It was capacity, and they came down and did an all-day presentation. So not an inexpensive presentation, but something that there was obviously a great desire for in this community, because there's so many things of historic nature, and obviously a lot of people very interested in preserving, their own archival materials. So it was great. So those are some of the things that we've used it for.
Right.
Examples.
And they're considered enhancements and enrichments of the library services. And the procedure is that Karen would submit a form to them describing what her request is, and they will review it, and it's at their discretion. That is Greater Worcester Community Foundation, where the endowment is held. If it's in their discretion, they shall deem it appropriate. No income shall be distributed by GWCF if, in its opinion, the effect of such spending will be to reduce funds coming from the Commonwealth or from the town to support the library. So it really is above and beyond the budget.
It is, by definition, enhancement.
Correct, yeah.
But the agenda item is not a specific funding request, it's just a general.
In general,
Okay.
yeah, in the state.
One of the things was the speaker. So you'll see me go through this process with
Now,
the speaker.
when you said gift funds, I was assuming you meant the gift, so we need to clarify that for the minutes. I was assuming you meant the...
Actually, you know what? I don't think I need to apply to Greater Worcester for that, because
Right,
I've
that's what I
got
was
enough,
thinking.
I keep, we have a balance of about, because we get other gift funds too. People will donate, $100, $500 or $1,000 every now and then, and it'll go into our gift account. They will designate it as, use this for, sometimes it's for books. And so if it's very specific, I make a note and I only use it for books. And then a book plate will go in with their name and an acknowledgement will be sent. But something like this, the larger expenditure items like the sign, obviously that process was followed, and then they deem it appropriate, and they'll send me back the letter telling me that it's been accepted, and then it's followed by a check. The check goes into the gift account, and then I expend that. So that's how that works.
Can I go back a bit? And again, maybe I'm establishing a reputation for tangents here. Mention was made of the Connecticut library system. And I think your thought was, as I understood it, that it was degrading. Have we had any interest? Obviously we share a border with Connecticut. Have any Connecticut residents inquired about using the facilities in the Dudley Public Library, getting a library card, for example?
We welcome Connecticut residents. We get Thompson residents in all the time.
Okay. But is there, we were talking earlier about school and, school choice. And I don't know if there's a library choice category where somebody, for example, with school choice will opt out of the Dudley school system and bring their child to Sturbridge. And there's reimbursements, I guess, that flow as a result of that. But we don't charge them anything if they are issued a library card just as a Dudley resident.
That's correct, because there's not enough to worry about.
Okay.
Yes, we do border them,
And some libraries do charge a significant amount for, the library, use of the library card. But the way I look at it, with our demographic, it would be, if we were to, I think we would be denying people, library service.
Okay.
And they
No,
come
I'm not-
into the area, and they're spending money in the area, they come in, it's not, I don't think it's a huge segment
No,
of our
I was just
card
wondering
holders.
how it might be handled, and if maybe perhaps we'd see more of that in the future. And to that point, actually, you probably have families that are just living a quarter of a mile away from one another with the same, last name and same genetic background, one with a card and one without, one across the border, blue and white plates, and one with mass plates on their card.
We don't discriminate.
No, I wasn't suggesting such. I just wondered
Some
whether...
do.
Yeah.
We're not, we're not one of them. So, and so far, so good, so, it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Exactly, yeah. No, this has come up from time to time.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
And the Connecticut library system isn't broken, it's their delivery I was speaking specifically about.
Okay.
The library system itself is very strong.
I guess
They just don't have the support in the state house that we have in Massachusetts.
Okay.
And their delivery is a disaster. So they actually had to stop it.
I mean, delivery between libraries or the book? Oh, okay.
Interlibrary loan.
Oh,
Yeah.
They
It's,
still use that virtual library, or are they involved with that at all?
the statewide interlibrary loan is still functioning. When you say they, I'm
Well,
not sure.
I meant I understand it. There is the system within Massachusetts that I had used, and then at the desk I've been referred to, I think it's a virtual library?
Yep.
Which goes beyond the participating towns, as I
Right.
understand it.
The whole state.
Right.
And it's called the Commonwealth Catalog
Is that
now.
what it's called?
And yes, that's a statewide system. So
Mhm.
yes, we still use, it's heavily used.
And
as a matter of
Connecticut
fact.
has their own comparable system?
Not
Unfair
anymore.
question.
Anymore.
Unfair question.
And I'm going to leave it at that because I have friends in the Connecticut library system. It's not worth going into.
No. Okay.
It's
Thank you.
complicated, let me tell you. The point is that we have a great interlibrary loan system here in
Mhm.
Massachusetts, and we are so lucky.
Right.
And we have delivery 5 days a week,
Mhm.
and it's pretty much like clockwork.
It's sometimes it's an embarrassment of riches. I
Mm.
will request a number of items, thinking that, wow, they'll never all show up at the same time,
Yeah.
and lo and behold, they're all waiting
Actually,
there.
I know. So
Be
we
careful what you wish for.
I know.
Exactly. Say
Truer
that all the
words
time.
whenever
So
spoken.
does anyone have any questions for me?
So we're all set with, in terms of funding. I just thought that was a funny, only because I remember, and correct me if I'm wrong, but, it was obviously we just made the quorum, and because you had some funding requests that you, I thought, had to take place tonight, if you wanted. You couldn't wait till
Yeah.
May, and that was my understanding, but did I miss
One of
something?
them was the speaker, yeah.
Oh,
And
the
the other
spe-
one's going
oh,
to be, yeah.
Speaker of the Bose, okay, yeah. I'm thinking the person, I know I understand, the speaker we talked about.
Yep.
Well, yeah, okay.
That's all right.
Oh, good.
It's all right.
Good.
Valid question.
I'm glad, no, I'm glad it was, we couldn't wait.
It's this side of the table.
Hey, hey. It's by
It's
association.
your job to ask
I'm
me.
rubbing you off on you.
I'm going to move over there.
Oh, no.
It's your job to ask me these questions.
Ben to
Keep me on my toes,
Okay.
so.
No, that's not what was my intent. I just wanted to make sure we didn't miss something. I'm not like I put myself out
No, I
to
appreciate it.
come here. I do have to run. to
Don't
the-
worry, if I had a funding request that you didn't, I would have brought it
No,
up.
that's what I felt was somehow
I usually don't forget about those.
No. So that was it.
But thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else?
No.
No?
You looking for a
Okay.
motion?
Next meeting is May 24th.
May 24th it is.
May 24th. Yeah, May
That's
24th.
the Tuesday before. Are you guys all?
Town meeting's May 23rd.
Is it?
The day before that, yeah.
Oh, man.
It's what?
The town meeting's May 23rd, the day before.
Oh, well, that's okay.
I know, I'm just wanting
Oh, yeah, no.
to remind people, town
That's
meeting's May
good.
23rd.
Yeah, town meeting,
Timely.
important to attend.
Mhm.
When's the election? June. Election's
Yes, it's in June, yes, I don't remember the exact date, I think it's the 17th or something.
Oh, so
I'm not sure.
later that month.
It's on the calendar.
Yeah, okay, can't see that part.
Yeah.
Not right now.
Okay, I'll take a motion.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
All right.
Who says we can't work together?
Meeting